Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the adventures of Gary Wilson here in NCAA 26 Road to Glory. We are with the Wyoming Cowboys, and it is bowl game time. Probably one of the worst bowl games in the history of bowl games. It's the LA Bowl, and we're playing Virginia Tech. We're 10-3, they're 6-6. I don't know. If you ask me, it just feels like they just threw us somewhere, but it's okay. Final game of the season of sophomore year for Gary Wilson. Let's see how he does. Let's start it off. Start with an outside run play. Nope, cut up the middle. Cut up the middle. Go, Gary, go. After the end of last episode, I did do an upgrade where if we're running, I think it's the one where if we're running at full speed and a defender tries to hit us, there's a chance we injure them. Incomplete pass for Gary Wilson. Oh, we're down 7-0. I was just trying to play around a little bit, but we are losing, so maybe I don't do that. Oh, we did get a first down. All right. We're only down 7. We're the better team for sure. There we go. That was one of the abilities right there. Basically trucked over the guy. I mean, we are 6'3", 369 pounds, so we have the ability. I was trying to juke. It wasn't the first guy that got us, it was the second guy. So the big question we have coming up is, after this game, that will complete our sophomore season. What I had been trying to do was keep my grades high enough that we could graduate a year early. And then senior year, we just put everything into development. Look at that juke move by Gary. Look at that juke move by Gary. So that we could graduate early and then senior year put everything into skill development. But I don't think for some reason my grades were high enough. They took us out and got the touchdown without us. What a load of crap that was. That was Gary's touchdown all day. Well, that is not what we wanted. No, this may not be great either. I didn't realize we're in our own end zone. Go, Gary, go. Nope. That was bad. That was bad. That's the definition of bad. And now we're down even more. All right. No more playing around. Time to get serious. Forget the fact that Gary is single-handedly responsible for his team being down. I mean, obviously he doesn't play defense, although he could. That safety is going to hurt us. It's going to come back and haunt us if we don't. We're right before halftime. We really have to get down there, get a touchdown. Touchdown definitely helps here. This is one of the things I was talking about in yesterday's video about the game being broken. Like, how did that guy, one, miss us? And two, why are we just sidestepping? I'm sure there's a way to pull the ball down and run. Once again, they scored without us. But now we're only down 6. So all it takes is a couple big plays like that to be right back in the game. Little screen pass to Gary. We got this. We're not scared. He missed. The second guy didn't miss. I need to figure out how to pull the ball down so that I could just take off running there. Nice little run. So the big question that remains is, like I said, that we're about to end his sophomore year. Touchdown, Gary Wilson. Oh, that sounded horrible. So anyway, we're about to complete his sophomore year. Does he stay or does he go? We finished 5th in the Heisman voting this year. We beat Boise State, who, when we played them the first time, they weren't ranked, but they ended up being ranked 13th when we played them the second time, and we knocked them out of the playoffs. They were going to play Ohio State in the first round, but because we beat them, it knocked them out of the playoffs. We were ranked for an entire one game this year. I didn't show it on video, but we got up to 24th and we lost to, I think it was Fresno State in like triple overtime. But the only other losses we had is we lost to Georgia, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been. It was like 17-0. Oh, we're down again. It's like 17-0, which honestly for Wyoming playing, Georgia, it's a very respectable score. And then I accidentally simmed a game that we should have won. I don't remember who it was against. And we lost the simulation by like 1 point. We need to score here because if we don't get points here, they're going to be able to run the clock out. We have to at least get into field goal range. And that will do it. Not quite there, but that gives us a first down and plenty of opportunity. He got through. He got through the defense right there. We have 3 timeouts. 2nd and 11. That's not going to help. 3rd and 12. So now it's an absolute passing play. 2-minute warning. Yeah, 54-yard field goal attempt if we don't. Oh, and look, it's Gary Wilson with the reception. Just get down, Gary. Just get down. Don't fight for extra yards. So now that we're in very good field goal range, now we just want to try to get the first down, take some time off the clock. Let that clock run down a little bit. Timeout, whatever the hell that thing is. They called the timeout, so we got to run a play. And it's a touchdown for Gary Wilson, his second of the game. Makes up for that safety. Game's not over. And now the game is over. 18 seconds. We're going to run a play. Just see if we can't get up to 200 yards. Nope. Lost a few. They're going to call a timeout. And the coach took us out of the game. So there we go. We won the LA Bowl, hosted by Gronk. We feel completely disrespected because we should have been in a much bigger bowl game. Gary Wilson, 2 touchdowns, 173 yards. Now, time to decide what happens with his future. Well, there you have it. USC, who was 15-1 and number 2 in the country, beat number 8 Florida, who was 13-3 by a final score of 24-21. So Gary has made a decision. Despite being the clear starter at Wyoming, he has decided he's going to transfer. There are 3 schools that he's considering. Wisconsin, where he would start on the bench. Ole Miss, where he'd be the starter. Could go to the defending national champions USC and be the starter. But no. Instead, it'd be Texas A&M. Could go to Nebraska, be the second string. But nope, he's going to return to his home state. Gary Wilson is signing with the Wisconsin Badgers. He just couldn't turn down the cheese curds. By the way, I just noticed Wisconsin was 5-7 last season, so we're going to a worse team record-wise than what we were. Means they didn't make a bowl game. So we'll see how this goes. And right away, we're starting with a position battle for HB2. Let's see how it goes. Well, as you can see, we were able to win the coach position battle for halfback 2. We'll see how that works out for us. Well, Gary instantly regrets his decision to go to Wisconsin as we just lost to Utah. Gary did not get into the game, and it was a 21-13 loss. If we go look at the stats real quick, I believe our quarterback fumbled twice. It's not going to show it, is it? Not there, it's not. But yeah, I believe he fumbled twice. So not a great start. Gary definitely knows he made a mistake transferring to Wisconsin after a 13-10 loss to Marshall. Let me say that again. To Marshall. The coach has seen enough. He's going to give us a chance to become the starting running back. And just like that, we won. I won 2 out of 3 challenges. It wasn't easy. I had to restart a couple times on one of them. And then I still couldn't win that drill. So anyway, Gary Wilson, now the starting running back at the University of Wisconsin. And there was Gary Wilson's first touchdown as a Wisconsin Badger. Of course, it's against FBS school, but we'll take what we can get. Nice short run, nothing special. Arguably our biggest accomplishment of his career, Gary Wilson named the National Offensive Player of the Week. It was against an FCS East school, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. 266 yards, 5 touchdowns in Gary's first game as a starting running back for the Wisconsin Badgers. So we'll take what we can get. Wisconsin fans everywhere, you could celebrate because we just played Nebraska and absolutely demolished them. I want to say the final was 52-6. Gary Wilson with a massive game for a massive man. All those cheese curds and Culver's butter burgers have paid off. That size now matters. That, and I've upgraded the fact that he's very hard to tackle, the man. There you go. 3 touchdowns, 363 yards, 52-6 win over Nebraska in Nebraska. Wisconsin is now 2-2. Second consecutive week, Gary Wilson is the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week. This time, not against an FCS school. Did not win National Player of the Week. We do play Ohio State in our next game. I'm assuming we lose this game. We're an 81 overall. They're a 97 overall. Let me prove myself wrong. Ohio, OH, more like OH, goodbye-o, because Wisconsin just won it in overtime thanks to Gary Wilson and an overtime touchdown. $252 yards, 4 touchdowns, including that massive one in overtime. Wisconsin came into the game at 2-2 and beat number 4 Wisconsin, Ohio State. They did not beat themselves. No surprise here. We just got a message from our teammate saying that we're in the Heisman running. Of course we are. We finished 5th in the Heisman voting last year. Should have been a little bit higher. Nothing else to do other than say, of course. Hey, man, mind picking me up and driving me to practice this week? Dude, take an Uber. But yeah, I'll pick you up. And I apologize, Ohio State fans, but we just knocked you from 4th to 18th. Oh, wait, did I say I apologize? I don't apologize. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just did some upgrades on Gary Wilson. He's up to an 89 overall. The main things that we did was we got elusiveness up. So his break tackle is now a 99, which is incredibly important. Next, we're going to focus on getting his speed all the way up. And I just put a bunch of points into both IQ and route running. So IQ is basically maxed out. Route running is he's not a route runner. That's not what he does. But under physical, we've got both downhill and workhorse up to platinum level. Therefore, Gary is locked in. The other thing I wanted to show you, because OBS crashed out on me, was we are now 6-2, 17th in the country. Not only did we beat Iowa, who is now 22nd in the country, we beat Oregon when they were number 8 in the country, and we beat Michigan when they were number 1 in the country. Unfortunately, Gary got injured early in that game and did not have a big game, so he's no longer in the Heisman conversation. However, the season's still young. There's still time. I mean, I guess it's not that young. It's already week 8. But next week, we play Northwestern. So that game will be to start tomorrow's video as Wisconsin pushes for the playoffs and Gary Wilson pushes for the donut table. Until then, I will see you all in the next episode.